This movie told the reality line just enough to freak the hell out of me. How do you react to horror movies? Does it make you afraid of the dark, or make you twist your legs together as tightly as possible, or make you jumpy at every little noise and leave you completely haunted? Then I promise, Honeymoon 2014 will unleash all kinds of horrors. With all the terrible movies that get hyped up, usually, I don't understand why Honeymoon 2014 isn't mentioned so much. Well, I stumbled upon this scrolling through Tubi's bottomless pit of horror selections. It's been a good long while since a movie of this kind left me actually haunted. When there's a good pace of mystery and good acting and writing, it's such a deadly combination, I must say. From the start, it was easy to sympathize with the protagonist. I'd recommend you to watch it today. After you watch this, all you'll need is for your neighbor to chill because your soul can't rest with the little bumps and creaks coming through the wall tonight. Now that you're ready to watch the movie, let me give you a quick brief. We'll try to not give away spoilers. What's so good about this is that it's proactive and takes old tropes and makes them new. I love that they're new stories and the directors are attempting to make good films and not just horror fodder. The Rotten Tomatoes critical average is 90.5. That's crazy rare for horror. Rose Leslie played Bea's role, and Paul, by Harry Treadaway, are newly married in the couple. They're off to have a romantic honeymoon in a rustic cabin, set in a secluded forest. Well, in the first 20 minutes or so, it's just like a romantic drama. I can't think of many movies that tap into the very real anxiety and fear that goes with being married. So the majority of the film, you'll be a little thrown off. This is my best guess. I'd say 3/4 of it is more like a suspense thriller. Coming back to the story, during their stay there, they go to a small restaurant whose owner initially acts hostile, asking them to leave, but later calms down, realizing he was Bea's childhood friend. The man's wife then comes in, acting weird and saying they need to get away. And by this time, I felt this was such a creepy, effectively eerie, and strange little psychological thing going on. If you're into psychological horror films, then I'm sure you'll love them. After that, everything normally goes on until their wedded bliss is cut short when Bea goes missing. Paul finds her naked and disoriented in the woods with no evidence as to how or why she got there. He takes her back to the cabin with her claiming she was sleepwalking due to the stress and to make nothing of it. Dude, if there was one thing I could sum up, that would be, it messes with your head. By the end, you'd be insane. I mean, this has such a strange plot, doesn't it? And has no deep explanation. All this makes it hard for us. To top this, it's a horror film. However, as time passes, Bea's behavior becomes increasingly distant and strange. At first, Paul blames Bea's strange behavior on some encounter with Will, the restaurant owner, but soon he realizes there's more going on. On one night, Paul was staying awake and he saw some bright lights through the windows, but when he went to investigate, he found nothing. The sounds you hear here definitely set a spooky tone. One day during an argument, Bea locks herself in the bathroom, and when Paul breaks in, he finds her repeatedly stabbing herself in the crotch. Paul then ties her to her bed and she asks him to take it out of her. Paul puts his hand into her vagina and takes out a large worm-like creature. That's it, guys. If this doesn't creep the hell out of you, I don't know what could. I actually found this part of the movie very unnerving. As you can see in the movie, the tension builds so damn slowly, but the manner in which it does has me on the edge of my seat, unable to look away. I keep telling myself, I wouldn't have been as emotionally strong as the protagonist is. And Bea later explains that the night she disappeared into the woods, she saw the lights at night and couldn't help walking toward them. She then saw some silhouettes, and they apparently impregnated her. Bea then says that she's Bea, but they're taking away what's left of her. She then says she must protect Paul because they're going to dispose of him. Anyway, I really enjoyed Honeymoon. It made me uneasy while watching it, mainly because I had no idea what was happening, and I put myself in the husband's shoes. Bea then knocks Paul out, takes him into the middle of the lake on a boat, ties an anchor to his feet, and throws him in to his death. Bea is then shown to be deteriorating, her skin becoming white and flaky. Bea then meets Will's wife, and they walk away into the lights. The film finishes with Bea saying, "Before, I was alone, but now, I'm not." I love the ending that I didn't see coming. It was strange, but left things a little vague. You're never exactly sure what's happening. Spoiler: I don't know exactly why, other than the fact that I've been recently watching documentaries on similar subject matter. I just actually hate the idea that this is a thing. I don't think it will have a lasting appeal of the 1970s horror films, but I appreciate it being a new story told well. I think this will be my new favorite for a while. So now I can conclude that it's a really good movie with a solid storyline. You can watch this to kill a few minutes, and I'm sure you'd end up watching the entire thing. So if anyone is looking for a lesser known but a good movie, check it out quickly. I must agree that this movie just left me hungry for more. Almost immediately, I was invested in the main characters. Liking these two kind of felt like a guilty pleasure of just how peachy they both are. Don't you think the setting is wonderfully isolated? I think 4 people appear in the entire film. To call this one a slow burn would be quite an understatement. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. The story is just so damn elusive, I was going crazy imagining the possibilities. All thanks to Leigh Janiak. She directed this sci-fi horror Honeymoon. She's known to craft horror that doesn't withdraw scares but gets into our mind with the psychological terror. The overall review is that fans love the film for its mystery and ambiguity, leaving them trying to put the pieces together to understand any hidden meaning. Letterboxd users praised the film for being a different type of horror that audiences will not expect but will leave them pleasantly surprised. As we've reached the end of the movie, I'd like you guys to drop in some of your favorite horror movies in the comment section below. Here are a few of mine. Very old school, I must say, since my favorite era of horror is 1968 through 1978. And during that time, Night of the Living Dead, Rosemary's Baby, Dawn of the Dead, The Exorcist, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Halloween, Jaws, The Omen, Suspiria, Carrie, Last House on the Left, and Invasion of the Body Snatchers were released. Do you think Honeymoon 2014 has the potential to beat these legendary horror films? Let me know in the comments. We'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions on this. If you're all set to watch this movie, stock up on your popcorn, pickles, and your favorite snacks. Set the temp code in your room, grab a blanket, and have an enjoyable movie night with Honeymoon. You know, don't get too scared. It's just a movie after all. That's all for today. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, then consider leaving a like and subscribe to the channel for more updates.